Welcome back to PlayStation, live from E3. I'm here with Tam and Chris from Polyarc, and Justin and I literally just played the VR demo for Moss, and I have to say, I absolutely loved it. It was so delightful and adorable, and a little more challenging than I thought it was going to be. Justin, what was your experience?
Agreed, yeah, I was super impressed. I have tons of impressions, and I could fill this whole segment just talking about how much I loved playing Moss, but awesome. I think we should probably let you guys talk about it a little bit. Do you want to give us a quick overview for anyone who hasn't seen the trailer yet? What exactly is Moss?
So Moss is the story of the hero Quill. You take the role of the reader, you read the books in this library, and that transports you into the world, and you join her on her adventure.
Awesome, yeah, and when you say you're the reader and you read the book, the demo literally opened with you using the DualShock 4, reaching out, holding the R2 button, and turning the page, and then it brings you in, and you kind of get to the whole platforming experience, which is kind of the crux of Moss.
Absolutely.
And it's a great cue because you start and the page lights up as you get closer to it, which as you find out as you play the demo, as you're going through, things light up and that gives you the clues to know like what you should be interacting with. It also felt really natural. How did you go about designing the game around using the DualShock? Because it was seamless the way you use the buttons and the sticks.
Thank you. It was actually a result of many user tests. We're a small studio, and even at our small size, we have multiple playtest rooms. And for everything we do, we go through iteration after iteration. Probably just one of the interactions where you're turning an object around, we might have tweaked it 20 times before we finished it. And the rules for this medium that we're working on are still being written, and so we don't have anything we can fall back on. We just have to try it. We have to test it over and over and over again and keep asking ourselves the same question and keep asking our players the same question, which is, what about that didn't work? What about that pinged your brain and pulled you out of the experience? And if we can fix all of those and then apply good fundamental game design to the rest, then we should end up with something good.
Yeah, so this plays like at its basis level, this plays like a platformer. Kind of, hack and slash. You have a sword and you go fight things and you smash pots and stuff, and you jump on ledges across chasms and everything. But then you introduce an interesting wrinkle where you actually reach out and grab things with the DualShock 4 controller. You have this orb that kind of can grab things and move things, and you use a combination of that ability with controlling Quill with the left stick and the buttons to navigate these rooms and everything. How much of a challenge was it to kind of teeter-totter between direct control and the more environmental manipulation?
We find that it's actually the most exciting parts of playing Moss is when you have that back and forth interaction, when you have to take a part in the adventure. You reach in and solve maybe one part of the puzzle, and then you need to control Quill and guide her to solve another part of the puzzle, and then maybe you both in tandem solve the final piece. Yeah. And we find that's really exciting, and that's when all the magic kind of comes together.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the challenges of the design too, is making sure that when we switch back and forth, we don't overwhelm the player. So we'll do sections for each, and then only on occasion when we really want to amp it up do we make you do both at the same time. But it would be totally overwhelming if we had you do that all the time.
Yeah.
Now what I find really interesting is so many VR games, it's a first person. And with Quill, you're kind of like, you're in it and you can see yourself, in part of the demo, you actually look down as the helper and you can see your reflection in the water. But really, it's about Quill and you're approaching it from kind of like a third-person perspective. Was that your idea from the beginning, or was there an idea that maybe you would play Quill as a first person, or from the beginning you were like, nope, we're going to do it third person?
So the design of the game really came out of what we thought were the primary principles of what we believe would make a good VR game, and that's making people comfortable, immersing people in the world, and really utilizing the physical interaction that's possible. Like, it's so compelling to reach in and grab and move things that we really wanted to emphasize that. And so from the beginning, we knew that was going to be the key, that you were going to reach in, and you're going to have a sense of place and be in this place that you are really altering with your motions. And then we needed a tiny character that, I guess I shouldn't say needed. We wanted to have a tiny character that you brought along on this
It could have been a
adventure.
massive character.
Yeah, it could have been.
Could have been.
But it was actually important that the character was small enough that you could reach across the meaningful play area. And so that's where Quill came from, and that's where the game design came from.
The environments are so lush, and the sound design, even just having those headphones on when we were playing the VR game, you can hear the little woodland creatures, and like as you're opening the book, it gets stronger and gets louder. I love how she makes these little struggling sounds as she's like getting up on that ledge. Like, the sound design is really, really well done.
Yeah, we found that all the same things that are important in flat screen games still matter, but the kind of the balance of how much they're important has shifted. And we found that while sound design and animation were always important, always, they're even more important now because those get to the root of your brain down at that part that allows you to believe that it's real or not. And so that was very intentional that all of that audio makes you feel really immersed.
Of course. I want to call out the art direction, generally speaking, too, because on the screen, it looks like a beautiful game, but it really just is taken to the next level when you strap on the headset and you're in there and you're surrounded by all of these lush trees and the amazing statues that you guys have put so much work into detailing, and even the dark room that we see at the end of the demo and everything. It's all so impressive, especially in VR. How has it been trying to design these environments in VR? Have you faced any interesting challenges, like in terms of like how far do we draw out and stuff like that?
Absolutely. We are faced with a lot of challenges with this new medium, but it's also equally exciting to explore and create something and then minutes later be inside of it.
Yeah.
To play on the player's emotions a little bit, like in what part of the tale is Quill on? Is she in a happy place or is she in a dark, scary place?
Huh.
And making a nice, warm environment where the sun's beaming in and Quill's there and you're there and you have a moment to kind of breathe. It's really nice to kind of like all the warm lighting, all the like nice sounds and all the like pleasant animations that our team make.
Yeah.
Just really play on those emotions. And when you in turn go to somewhere that's maybe a darker part of the story, taking you deep down into some ruins and like really play on the coolness of it. You can actually feel like you're a little bit colder even though you are in your virtual reality
VR
headset.
has that effect. It can trick your brain in some really
there better
interesting
not be
ways.
any time trials in this game because I already caught myself being like, whoa, look at everything. You're so much to take in.
Yeah, we definitely want you to
detail.
feel comfortable and we want you to want to be in there with Quill and go on that adventure together.
There was, I think it was the second to last room that we were in the demo that we played, where it was actually a fairly involved puzzle where you had to spin a thing around, take control of a beetle, have it stand on a switch, all that stuff. And I got stuck for a little while. And one thing I love that you guys tucked in here is, so I'm a sucker for idle animations, and I've talked about this at length before. And this is kind of a new take on an idle animation where Quill actually looked up at me and said, like,
Yeah.
and kind of like motioned what she wanted me to do. Like she had figured it out and she was trying to convey to me like, you should go do that over there and then I'll be able to jump up here. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really want to make sure that she has agency, and it's very easy to rob her of the agency if all of the focus is around giving her input and guiding her. And so for every moment possible without breaking the gameplay itself, we want to give her her own life. And that it's a double win because it makes her alive and real and gives her personality, and it turned into our hint system. So when you need help, we can check and see, and then she can help you out.
Nice.
She definitely had her own little personality.
Yeah.
Like I caught myself in the game being like, come on, girl, good girl. All right, let's go. Like she was one of my puppies at home or something like that. It was really great. I felt instantly connected to her as a character on a really warm level and a very familiar level. And only playing that demo, which is what, 15 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
10,
I mean, to
15 minute
have
demo.
that feeling right away that I felt like she was one of my pets at home, it was a great, heartwarming connection.
Yeah, it's our favorite reaction when someone plays and talks to her. Because if you really think about it, you're the one guiding and you're sort of talking to yourself.
Right.
My favorite,
I do it all the time. It's totally fine.
My favorite part of the whole demo was at the very end. We walk into after solving that puzzle, you walk into Quill walks into a really big, dark room, and it seems very foreboding, and it's kind of scary, but she kind of looks over her shoulder and looks up at you and just kind of like, we got this, and like pulls her sword out, and it's just like, yeah, let's do this. Come on, Quill, we can do it.
Yeah.
So cool. I love little details like that make you just feel so attached to a character.
Yeah, we're really excited to tell this journey, and we're really excited to share the the relationship that you'll gain with Quill.
Yeah.
At first, you're strangers, and maybe she's not so sure of you. You might even be a little bit frightening to her, but over time, you guys build this bond and become best friends, hopefully.
Love it.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you for letting us do a little VR demo before we even got here.
Absolutely.
It's so hard with VR when you're trying to explain like what it is, and to be able to experience it and come out here and share that with all you guys, it was really, really awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Thank you very
Don't
much.
sleep on this one. Moss looks fantastic. I'm impressed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really great. All right, guys, well, stick around because we have a lot more coming here from the lives at PlayStation at E3. So stick around. We're going to be right back.
PlayStation